Alliances and allegiances are new methods of foreign policy adopted by different imperialist powers and small states as well. They adopted those policies or adopted the policy of forming an alliance or to making an allegiance. Usually imperialist powers get some allegiance and small states make an allegiance or give their allegiance to a large power. So alliances and allegiances are some new methods of foreign policy. Both are tools or instruments of foreign policy used to maintain the balance of power. Alliances are usually made in a multi-state system when there is some sort of imbalance in the balance of power in the multi-state system. Usually small states make alliances to make a balance. Let's suppose in a multi-state system there is a huge state A. State A is a huge state, it's a big state, and there are two or three small states B, C, and D. They are small states. Now in this multi-state system you see state A is a large state, B, C, and D are small states. Can you see the balance? Obviously you don't see balance because B, C, and D, these are small states and one state is a large state, so the balance of power is tilted towards A. And to in such a case, to maintain the power of or to maintain the balance of power, what these states will do is that they made an alliance. They will make an alliance, and when they will make an alliance, now the power will be same, so the balance of power will be maintained. So to maintain balance of power and to gain and to protect their national interest and their national security, states make alliances. Alliances, we can see the examples of alliances in the ancient time, in medieval, in modern history as well. So alliances are usually made to protect the national interest and maintain the balance of power. While allegiance is slightly different from alliance, allegiances are are in allegiance usually small state align with large states. For example, if there is a state A which is a large state and there is a state B which is again a large state, and there are a number of small states. Now these small states can't protect their national interest in global system. So what these small states will do is that either they will ally with state A or state B to protect themselves. Now these states, let's suppose, make an ally with state A and these states make an ally with state B to protect their national interest and their national security. What they did is that they make allegiance with those states. So allegiance is an ally of a stronger state and a weaker state. Usually the states prefer to make alliances and allegiances when they see that their national interest could be protected under an alliance or an allegiance. If they found no interest, or if they are strong enough to remain isolated, usually states shun alliances and allegiances. But if they see that they cannot protect their national interest and they cannot protect they cannot secure their borders without alliance or an allegiance, they prefer an alliance or allegiance. So we can't say that alliance or allegiance is always made, or neither we can say that alliance and allegiance is always made. No, we can say that alliance and allegiances are not cannot be made. All they depends on the national interest and the needs of their national security. Alliance. Today we will discuss the meaning of alliance, right? And on some other day we will discuss allegiance as well. Alliance, the term alliance is really difficult to define because it's a complex and it's a complicated term. We see that scholars use the term alliance interchangeably with bloc, sometimes with coalition, or sometimes with a pact. But technically speaking, alliance is different from those terms. Although scholars use interchangeably with those terms, but technically speaking, alliance is different. Alliance is different from bloc, alliance is different from coalition, and it's different from a pact. Usually coalition, pact or blocs are made on economic grounds or economic needs or political or sometimes cultural basis. But alliances are made on military basis for their security. So the element of security differentiate an alliance from a pact, a bloc, or a coalition. Coalition as well, you can see sometimes national security issues, but but that's not mandatory for a coalition or a pact or a bloc. For alliance, that's the mandatory, that's the compulsory factor. So alliances are made for economic gains plus military gains, or economic social gains plus military gains, political gains plus military gains. So the military gains or the security issue is the central idea in alliance. Now you can describe or define alliance as an agreement between two or more than two nations to collaborate among themselves on national security issues. This is the compulsory, this is the important component. That's the national security issues. If you will suck this issue, or if you will remove the national security issue from an alliance, then an alliance could not live for long. So national security issue is the mandatory issue. It doesn't mean that always or nations always cooperate to fight, right? Sometimes nations do not fight together, but these states might allow their territory to use, right? Allow their territory to use for military use, or they allow their territories that their territories could be used to pass militaries. For example, in post 9/11 period, Pakistan made an ally with USA, or USA made an alliance with Pakistan, and Pakistan allowed their air bases to use against Al Qaeda. So, uh, so alliances are always made for national security issues. Statesmen and diplomats describe alliance as a provision of mutual military assistance between two or more sovereign nations. So in alliances, the military assistance is the compulsory factor. Before World War One, in post World War, oh, sorry, pre-World War One period, usually alliances were made for cooperation, but in case of war, the allied states were liable to protect each other. So alliances are different from pacts, coalitions, and blocs, both in cooperative and in functional. Blocs, coalitions, or pacts deal with economic, social, or political issues, while allies deal with military issues. So ally lay emphasis on both aspects, the regionalship plus the military aspect. So allies are different, and allies are groups or joints of different nations just to maintain their balance of power, to protect their national interest and their national security issues. Thank you for joining. Take care. Goodbye.